Hello, and welcome to Platteville Fantasy Podcast Show. I'm your host, as usual, Alan Highland. Behind the glass is your producer, Mr. Mitch Pritchard. We've got an exciting week for you. Platteville Fantasy. Your first matchup. We'll just start off with the odd one. Mitch 127 against Kai's 127. Ties are super rare. They shouldn't really happen. I mean, like, teams score between 40 some points and 160 some points. What are the odds that they're like exactly the same? I guess according to Mitch, this is the sixth time, and there's three last year. That blew my mind. But it's the sixth time in our 7.5 seasons, 7+ seasons of doing this. But yeah, you guys got the who got screwed. Who got screwed? Yeah, just because I mean it's kind of weird because like a tie is not bad, not good. They're weird, but yeah. Good job on not playing Andre Johnson there, Kai guy. I would have probably done it. Same thing with Green Ellis for you, Mitch, man. Both of those guys would have lost you the game, technically. 120, tying at 127. Sorry for that one, guys. But keeps you in the thick of things for not losing out on Kai. That was huge, actually. Getting Mitch a win there would have pretty much placed him in the playoffs. But now there's a chance for you guys to bounce back, especially you, Kai, being in seventh place. Um, Speaking of that, well, I'll get to that later. We'll move on. Next matchup was me taking down Jason, 116 to 97. I got what I was projected. Jason got 1 point higher, but it wasn't projected much. This is Jason's third week in a row not scoring over 100 points, so I don't know. Yeah, Drew Brees wasn't so hot for me, but I still pulled off a pretty good victory. Uh, moving on. Apollo get the championship belt there for scoring the highest amount of points of the week. It's the first time you doing that this week, and this feels like the turnaround. Like Brian was saying, this is it. This is what Apollo does. That's just what he does. Seems like he's down and out. I think this is where Apollo turns around and heads up the standings, and where Mitch, a lot of times Mitch, when you get hot in the beginning of these freaking football seasons, you just crumble. Like everyone does it. Like if you're like you did, like you went 6-0, you're not gonna win. I can almost guarantee that. Like starting the way you did means you're probably not gonna win. I mean, you're probably gonna get the bye, so that's pretty huge. But I'm pretty sure you're not gonna win. uh, but Brian, you scored way more points than I thought you would. 73. I thought you were gonna score 0. So kudos to that. That 73 could beat teams. Definitely beat Brendo's team. God. Your next matchup. Bill 101 versus Devers 78. Burrs kind of struggled there. Um, Bill, you got away with one for this week. But it's a cool week because everyone that scored above 100 points actually won. Well, except for Mitch and Kai. But nobody lost who scored above 100, so nobody really got screwed. 101's in that La La Land, so nice job. Um, Bill, you had two zeros on your board and still won. That's a props to that. Yeah, props and drops by the way, Brian. There they are. Yeah, Birds definitely can't win without Aaron Rodgers. That's all I have to say about that. Oh, yeah, going back to the Apollo and Brian one. Apollo, you're funny. You're 2-3 when you score 100 points or more, but you're 2-1 when you score less than. So I don't know what that's all about. I thought that was funny. All right, your next matchup, Ja losing to Pete. Come on, Ja, man. I know Pete scored all those points, but that's horrible. Pete broke his 6-game slide. Ugh. peated it. You peated it. Your name change did not help you like it helped Brian. 136 point. You are very inconsistent, Pete. You go up and down. 136 this week, 74 last week, 123, 63. You're up and down. Uh, Next matchup, Drew 125 versus Jordan 77. Jordan scoring below 90 points for the third week in a row. Jordan, you got to bounce back. You're not going to make the playoffs this way. By the way, MVP goes to Drew, having Buffalo's defenses. Are you kidding me? This year, defenses are probably going to win you championships. They're winning people's games. If anybody had Kansas City's defense last week, they would have won. And the 40 points from Buffalo's defense, and I see on everyone who won pretty much just had good defenses. I mean, it's big this year. Yeah, it's kind of an underdog week this week with Drew and Pete winning and St. Louis beat New Orleans. So there you go. Next matchup, Jameson 88 losing to Bunker 109. Big win for Bunker. You needed that one. Jameson, you needed to keep Bunker down. Now it's kind of all scrambled up there in the playoff seedings, and I'll get to that later. But Jameson, you were lacking defense. Like I said, defense wins championships. But this is the second week in a row you scored in the 80s, so you need to really bounce back. Big time JMO. Your next matchup, Fred, 113, taking down Brendo, who's going to lose every game because this is his third week in a row scoring in the 40s. Come on, Pound Cake. Fred is 5-0 and scoring above 100 points. So watch out for Fred. This is also the sixth time, if you consider my first win of the year against D-Burrs, that a team has doubled the other team. And it's happened twice this week with Apollo and Brian. That was expected. But Brian scored a lot more points than he was supposed to get. But yeah, that's your matchups. We'll head on right over to the standings. Your standings for the week. Alright, so your standings. Going in the East, the Eastern Division, the kind of weaker division this year. Points are definitely favoring the West and the standings wise. But anyway, at the bottom is Brendo, obviously. I think we can go ahead and just put the nail in the coffin on Brendo's team. Then Drew at 2-6 in 14th place. Jordan 3-5. Big loss for you. Big win for you, Drew, staying in it. With 812 points, you might be out of it, but you needed that win. Jordan, you did not need that loss. Brian, I was probably expecting you to lose there, 4-4. I think you're still looking okay. You don't have a lot of points, so you're definitely on the outside looking in. In the Western Division, Pete at 2-6. You might as well call it a year, Pete. It's fun having you play half the season, though. Jason, 3-5. Third loss in a row. You're tanking hard and tanking fast. Man, losing 2 in a row. You just can't catch a break, can you? Having 879 points, I think you're still looking okay. 3-5, still 5 games left, still good. Bunker at 4-4 with next week's matchups. Yeah, I'm expecting you're gonna. I think you have Brendo, right? Bunker. No, you have Pete. So. Bunker, I'm expecting you to beat Pete. Pete doesn't have Stafford this coming week, so I'm expecting you to be in the playoff bubble coming up next week. Going on to the top guys in the East. Apollo, the red hot Apollo, moving up, third win in a row in 9th. I think you're going to be the hot team now, just the way you always play fantasy football. Anyway, Kai at 4-3. You're playing Brendo, so you're gonna win. And since Jameson and the Burrs are playing each other, the 3rd and 6th team, both at 5-3, you're gonna be in the playoff hunt. And with me playing the top team, the Bill, I'll get to that later. But you're 4-3, and I expect you to be in the top 6 next week. Breadman, you're 2 wins in a row. You're looking pretty good. 877 points, 5-3, and then Mitch at 6-1-1 with ton of points, you pretty much are in the playoffs, I would have to say. Now you just got to hold on to your game and a half lead on Fred. So, in the top of the West, the Burrs in the playoff bubble at 5-3. Fourth, me 5-3 with a good amount of points. Jameson 5-3. Lost that big loss for you. Now you gotta beat the Burrs with. That's not gonna be easy, but still have a lot of points. And Bill, man, I can't believe you're at the top of the division. That's just blowing my mind every single week. But at 6-2, you're looking pretty good. 902 points. The matchup of the week next week is going to be me versus you. We both have the same amount of points, and we're in the top of the division over there. If I win, I move ahead of you. If you win, you separate yourself from the back. But yeah, so Paulo, Kai, and Bunker all looking like they're going to try to move into the playoff bubble. We all got to fend them off. But the fact that I'm playing Bill, Jameson's playing Dan Burr, and Mitch, you're playing against Paulo, I think it's going to be a little shuffling next week. What happened in fantasy hockey? Fantasy hockey. Looks like I lost. Your top team is Taunting 10 Tons. Yeah, still the best name, Platteville. Hey, look at that. Billy, you're actually like active. 4 moves. Yeah, you're gonna be the Pete of our hockey league, but yeah, hockey. But oh yeah, I think in survival, Drew, you're out right away. That's amazing. But yeah. Anyway, that's your show. Um, good luck this week. It's gonna be a really exciting week actually. So I'm gonna be paying close attention, and this might be the future of our trophy situation in college pickup. I'm not gonna have the cardboard access. This is part of my county custom. I'm gonna paint that Paul Bunyan Max style. So there you guys go. Good luck, and I'll see you next week.